Yeah, so basically it's a series of feats of strength presented kind of inspired by the old vaudeville style of strong men and strong women. But then as I created it, I tried to be inspired by that, but then bring it into a kind of timelessness. So I'm not playing a vaudevillian strong lady. It's really in the place that it is. So if it's outdoor, it's on the street, it's in that place. I'm not creating a different world. I'm asking the people, rather than to imagine they're somewhere they're not, imagining to reimagine the place that they actually are, have a different experience of the public place rather than escapism from it. The feats of strength centre around me lifting men from the audience. That's the kind of the gist of it, breaking things, lifting people. And I do a duo show as well that's a hand-to-hand show where I get to lift someone who knows how to be lifted. But most of the time I'm just lifting random men. I really created it intentionally from the very outset, because I knew I'd be performing it outdoors. I really wanted to set up something that didn't make a conflict between me and the men in the audience. What I'm trying to do is create an experience of a woman taking up space, having a voice, being strong, and an experience for the audience of witnessing men being vulnerable, supportive, kind, listening, gentle. I've really honed the craft of how I work with the audience volunteers to bring the best from them so that they know exactly what I want from them and they stay there, so that at the end, the audience aren't just seeing strong femininity, they're seeing really supportive, gentle, healthy masculinity at the same time. I fall in love with shows constantly, and so the list is kind of endless, but one of the key inspirations for my work stylistically was there's a guy called Mario, Queen of the Circus, or he's called Clark, but his show was the first street theatre show I saw that had this style of being like a real crossover show, that it could work on a high street to people who'd never seen live art before, and it could also work in a big arts festival. It had the attention to detail artistically, but was also super accessible, so it kind of bridged the like more typically Australian style busking shows with more European style, more theatrical shows, and it made me, it really, for me, that show really inspired me to go, you don't have to choose one or the other, you can really like juggle it around. And similarly, there was an Australian woman, Judith Lanigan, who did a show called The Dying Swan that also toured a lot through Europe, that had a very similar thing where she had this crossover style, and both of them also inspired me with this. A lot of the things I'd been seeing were really parody based, and these two people played characters that, even though you saw flaws in them, their love of the character really was visible. And so you could, that thing of not playing someone that you're internally judging, I think because so many people have this internal judgment of themselves all the time, that it normalizes it when you see someone playing a character that they're actually judging as they play it. It's different to seeing someone play a flawed character and love that character anyway. So both of them did that as well.
Your proudest professional moment?
It's kind of not a moment, but like the conglomeration of a pattern of moments is little girls seeing that you don't have to choose between being pretty and girly and fun and gentle and strong, because I really grew up with this thing of going, I'm not a tomboy, but I'm not a damsel in distress, and I don't want to be it's like, and there's so many times little girls, like, they'll come up and say something at the end of the show like, you're very pretty and you're very strong. And I was like, originally when it would happen and I'd get really excited, I was like, do I really care that girls think I'm pretty that much? And I was like, no, what they're trying to express is, you're both those things, I can be both those things. And then you get emails from people, like there's a woman who said that her kid, she was a really avid feminist and she was so frustrated that her little girl always wanted to dress up as a princess. And then she wrote me an email to say, this is the first costume party like she saw your show 4 months ago. It's the first costume party. She hasn't wanted to go as a princess. She wanted to go as a strong lady, you know. So I was like, those kind of moments, that's my favourite.